And Brett Grasso are the authority.
Can't wait.
When it comes to talking sports, they're the authority. It's Bob Walters and Brett Grasso. It's Locked Up Sports, and it starts now.
Bring them out, bring them out, hey. Bring them out, bring them out, bring them out, hey.
Here we go. Bob Walters, Brett Grasso from the Brian Gunzel Studios. This is Locked Up Sports NLCS Game 1. Tonight, the Mets and the Dodgers from Chavez Ravine Dodgers Stadium out in L.A., 8 o'clock, first pitch. Brett, what's up?
So
we made
ready.
it. We made it.
Oh, man. It doesn't even really feel real, but, you know, we're here, man. Like, we
made
are
it.
here.
NLCS Game 1. We are live on Facebook. We are live on Twitter, live on YouTube. Welcome to everybody watching. Brett, we got Zenga tonight going up against Flaherty. I'm not happy with the Zenga choice. I know a lot of people are. I think because they're going to pitch one. They say he only can last 3 innings. They're expecting 3 innings, which means it's a bullpen game. And to me, the weakest part of the Mets team is the bullpen. What do you think?
The Mets haven't tipped their hand yet when it comes to things. As you've seen, Mendoza's been playing a mental game also. I really believe that if all goes well, we're going to see more than 3 out of Senga.
Well, yeah, but how?
I believe that, and I think that he's whoever. I don't even know who's saying that. Like they're only definitely getting 3
Mendoza said we're expecting 3 out of Senga.
He's playing mind games. He's playing mind games put into him, and he's gonna. If it doesn't go well, then we're gonna see a quick. He's out.
Yeah, but okay, so then you see a quick hook, and now you're in the bullpen, right? Game. But the bull, you don't want a bullpen game.
You know what he's trying to do? He's trying to steal one. He's trying to bring Senga the same way he did in the NLDS, come in and steal one. And he's saying, listen, I expect my offense to produce also. He's not looking, for someone to put up a 0 over 8 innings. Like, right now, he's like, in
game 2, you get Minaya, right, who's our ace.
Right. And the Dodgers, they don't have their rotation set the way they'd like to because they were playing right into a game 5. So they, it's not... I think Mendoza is really hoping, obviously, that Senga has a good performance, and he's saying 3 innings.
You want to get 5? I think you want to get 5. That's even asking a lot.
But in the postseason, out of your aces, sometimes you don't even get 5, because you're getting 5 of your hardest innings, and they start to wear down a little bit quicker, and you don't want to go through that lineup the third time. I don't care who you are, you don't want them going through a lineup the third time.
Now, here's the lineup for tonight is out. The lineup for tonight, we got the Mets right here. Yep. It is Lindor. It's back to the old lineup. It's Lindor, Vientos, Nimmo, Alonso, and cleanup. No. You got Marte playing, though.
Marte up to 5.
Yeah, and Winker is the DH hitting 6.
Yeah, Alonso's in cleanup, Marte's at 5, Winker DH, which is definitely a middle of the lineup we have not seen all year.
I think I'd rather switch Winker and Iglesias, right?
Well, that's the thing is Iglesias, I don't want to say cooled off a little bit, but I don't think he was the Iglesias that we had in the middle of the year, so he moved him to try and put him back in a spot where he was producing earlier in the year. He moved him up, hoping to get the production because he was one of the only guys hitting between the first and 7th inning of any of these games we've been playing the last 2 weeks.
But he struggled in the field a bit, right? Yeah. In that era that let the only run in the game 4 against the Phillies. But, hey, listen, we're here, right? We're here. We're playing. The lineup is out for NLCS Game 1.
Taylor in center field.
Taylor in center field is a defensive move. Yeah. And that's why Bader doesn't play.
His bat has not been, terrible, so he can't.
But Bader is the better defensive player, and he saves him. This is what he's been doing now for 2 months. He's been saving Bader for late in these games as a pinch runner. He comes in for defensive purposes. He plays a good center field, Bader. I'm not a big Bader fan, but he does play a good center field.
Yeah. Listen, Bader started off hot. He's one of the reasons why we even hung in there at all early in the year. And he cooled off substantially, but he's one of those guys you love to have out there to put in center field late in the game to keep you in it, depending on where you are in the lineup. And honestly, he's a veteran too, so I expect quality bats out of him if he does come up in the lineup and you need him. So I don't know. I like it. It leaves Acuna on the bench playing, to sub in if they need to, like you said, for defensive purposes later. They've shown that in the past games, they're going to move Iglesias over to third and put Acuna at second. When they did that, Iglesias made an error over at third, and but Vientos made 2 errors at third during the last game, which were very easy in the last series. So it's going to be interesting to see which way Mendoza plays it. to see how far Senga goes in this game. Marte looks like he's heating up a little bit, and I think, Mendoza's trying to play into that hand a little bit.
Now, it goes now. Is this it? I'm embarrassed I'm even asking this question to you. Is it 2-3-2 or is it 2-2-1-1-1? I hate 2-3-2.
2-3-2.
I think it's a huge disadvantage to the team who doesn't have the home field. I get it that they're supposed to have, because you're not going to, chances are you're probably not going to win this series, right? At home, unless you win it in 4 or 5 games.
No, this is you're right. You are
2-3-2 is not
right.
is not as fair as 2-2-1-1-1.
You have to sweep, the away. You have to win both away, and then you have your slight chance of
which puts them at a big disadvantage. I think it's a big disadvantage.
You're right. To have to go and win, in best case scenario, you'd want to say you have to win 1 out of 2 going back to LA. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's like best case when you're, for games 6 and 7.
Now during the year, the Mets have not fared great. They were 2-4. Yeah, 6 games there. 2-4 against the Dodgers in the regular season. They got swept. Now, there's a marquee point here because they got swept in May, at the end of May. And, of course, everybody's heard the 22-33, May 29th. That's the date where the whole thing turned around. So it's really 2 separate teams that they played, right? They haven't really played the Mets, these Mets.
Not at all.
But the Dodgers are the one that forced the team meeting. They had the team meeting. And since that day, the Mets have been the best team in baseball, and that's for a big chunk of the season. That's why I think it wasn't a surprise that they beat the Phillies, right?
Yeah. No, there should be, and everybody might have questioned them even along the way. They are not the underdog to anybody anymore. We are nobody's underdog. There's not a team left in this playoffs that maybe Vegas doesn't have us favored in the games. I do not feel like an underdog going into any series, and not just because we're hot, because our pitching's better, because our hitters are better. Our hitters will come up clutch. Now, let me tell you, the Mets haven't even performed like they should have. We've been relying on late-game heroics. We've been relying on getting into people's bullpens. We've gotten there also by working better at bats, making them throw a lot of pitches early in the game. But we need to get this offense going early and often. And when we get those bases loaded situations, we have to capitalize. Championships teams do not leave the bases loaded 2 innings in a row in a game that is to move on into the NLCS. I'm telling you, the Mets got lucky.
Now the keys to victory, I wrote this up before Brett. Brett, this is not Brett. These are my keys to victory. I think Manaya's got to pitch like an ace in game 2, and he's got to pitch in game 5 or game 6.
Yeah.
2 and 6, and they're gonna need him to get wins probably in both of them, or at least go deep. Because tonight's going to tear up your bullpen, right? Your bullpen's not going to be very good for tomorrow. At least even if he goes 5 innings, you're going to use. You don't want to get into an Ottavino type of situation wherever he comes in the game.
No,
my theory is
not on the roster.
Oh, he's not on the roster. Okay, my mistake.
Off the roster.
Now, why would you not have Senga in the bullpen? Right, have him be a long man in the bullpen in case one of these starts goes haywire. You have somebody that can eat up 3 or 4 innings. That's my theory in having Senga not be the starter tonight.
If all goes well, this is not a 3-inning start. He is lying. He is lying through his teeth. He is going to let him pitch to a certain pitch count. He's going to let him pitch when he's comfortable. There's never going to get, I don't even think, into the 5th, but I think you're getting 4 innings out of Senga today. And listen.
4 innings out of Senga leaves 5 innings left. That's 5 innings out of the bullpen. You want to throw Diaz too? You don't want to throw Diaz too. We're going to get to Diaz in a minute.
It worked. You watched this work. We've seen this work.
It did work.
That shook the Phillies. I'm sorry. I don't care what happens. That press conference shook the baseball world when he announced Senga was starting that game. Now, it's not the same effect for game 1 of this series, but I don't know. Senga, man, you see how you're not talking about how effective he's going to be?
No, because he's only started twice this year, but he's got 2 starts.
No, but you're not talking about how effective he is. You're just going how deep he is.
He wasn't great.
But you know he's going to be effective. You can say
he gave up a leadoff home run in his first start back, right?
And that's all he gave up. He gave up nothing else.
Now
the guy gave up nothing else.
I think
I think you're getting a little bit more out of it. I think Senga's playing a hand right now. He's trying to ride that hand, and he's trying to steal a game. And if he steals it, it's a genius move because you just reset your rotation again that was already comfortable against their starting. It's game one for you all over again, but you already won game one.
Now
That's the plan.
The Mets have been consistently
Gotta hit
clutch. They're as clutch as anyone we've ever
I don't
seen.
want to see any more clutch.
Now there's been home runs. Do you have to? They're going to have to win one of these games.
I love it. I love it, but I can't take it.
But are they going to have to pull one of these games out of their ass, right? They're good because the Dodgers are better. The Dodgers are better.
Always, but they know they can, which is such an advantage. It's so different when you're a team that's never done it. Or like you're like, oh, we've done this 12 times and every time we come up just short. Even if we no, this team knows they can battle back from any of those deficits. And let me tell you, the Dodgers just played a very hard series, and the Mets had their first time off in a little bit. Now, it was only a 3-game gap in between.
Yeah, but 3 days is a perfect day. You don't want more than 3 days. You might get cold.
No,
you might have the offense get cold.
Our group chat was going up, and it's 4 days, and oh my God, what do you think's going to happen? It's all a bunch of Yankee fans just trying to ruin what's going on here, and they're not so bad.
Now, we haven't mentioned Ohtani yet. He's Babe Ruth, all right? Ohtani's Babe Ruth. I don't care what you say. You can love Lindor. Lindor can't hold a candle to Ohtani. No matter his talent, no matter what, he can't hold the can.
He may be the greatest player ever.
Now, don't let. How do you approach Ohtani in this situation? Do you pitch to him? Do you? I don't pitch to him unless I have to. I'm giving him the Barry Bonds treatment.
He didn't perform, and he hit his 1 home run in game 1, I believe, and I don't think he performed at all.
Yeah, but it means he's due.
He's due. You're right, and he's always going to come through, just like Aaron Judge is, right? But this is the playoffs, and your pitcher is there to pitch to him. And let me tell you, Senga is matched up a lot against Ohtani. And he's actually fared very well.
Yeah, I guess he probably has.
They know. I saw some video today of them, same old stuff.
Yeah, but we're talking whole series. Forget about Senga. Senga's going to throw 3-4 innings.
I get that, but I think that may even play into what we talked about earlier a little bit of, trying to get...
Eighth inning, you're up 2 runs.
Yeah.
Runner on second, 1 out, Ohtani at the plate. Do you walk him?
Yeah.
What about first and second? First and second, up a run. Do you walk him, load the bases, put the tying run at second base?
Well, the problem is when you do that, you have Mookie Betts coming up, who's actually better than Ohtani right now.
Yeah, I mean Mookie. Yeah, but
and then you go, oh, okay. And then what if Mookie gets a walk or a single? Because you have to try and pitch hard to Mookie. Freddie Freeman's up. Freddie Freeman's up.
No, that's why the Dodgers are a great team. They have a great lineup.
So I hear you, but you can't pitch around anybody in reality unless it's a perfect situation that's like too easy to pass up. You're up by 2. It's a 3. It's a 2. Whatever. Man on second. 1. You got to let him go. It's good. So you
all right? You go try and beat him.
You can't pitch. We've learned versus Harper, you can't pitch around guys. There's other good guys. You're not pitching against other teams. It's like, oh, once we get by him, we're good. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Okay. So now,
I'm gonna pitch to guys.
My final thing is
wrong, and he's on his second one. You don't pitch to him that third time. You can't be stupid.
Diaz gets 1 shot. Okay. Diaz blows game 2. I don't want him even closing the rest of the series.
No, but we don't even know when he's coming in anymore. We might see Diaz in the 6th. We have no idea.
No, you're not bringing. No. He brought Diaz in, and he because he brought him in the 7th, and it backfired.
No, but I hate it all. But that stuff drives me nuts because we even talked about this when we were at the game and when we were at game 3, and was that. I don't necessarily want Diaz facing the best batters. I just want Diaz coming in situationally. He's good coming in the 9th. We know that. I'll even give you the 8th for an extra inning if you need him.
50-50
no, I don't like that.
In.
But this whole 7th stuff or trying to bring him in just to face the most important guys, but I'm done with it.
Yeah, but he's never gotten a 7-out save, so he's not coming in the 7th again. We tried that, it backfired. They lost game 2.
That was not for a 7-out save. That was not the plan of that.
You don't think that was the plan?
No chance. He was just there to face the best guys, and Stanek was coming in to face the 9th. Like that, I can tell you.
But to me, I'm just sick of Diaz. He hasn't been very good.
I want him just coming in for the 9th, regardless of who's coming up. I mean, outside of I don't even know if he matches up well against Ohtani. So honestly, it's going to happen. We know what's going to happen. When the most important batters come up in the 8th or 9th inning in a close game, he's coming in. And he's going to keep pitching if he's, pitching well into the 9th.
Wait, now here's the thing that makes me think this year's a little different, okay? 9th inning, game 4, Mets-Phillies. Diaz comes in, and he walks the first 2. Tie and run now at the plate. Nobody out, right? The Mets lose that game 10 out of 10 times in our lifetime, right? No matter how, whether he blows it there or they tie it and they lose it later in the innings. And then for him to find himself and strike out the one guy and then get the 2 other outs and end the game and without even letting a run score. Yeah. To me, he walked those first 2 batters like, get him out of there. I was listening to the game walking to work.
I wrote
get him out of there.
Get him out of this game now is exactly what I wrote. And even after it happened, I still didn't feel good about it. That's the thing. After I wasn't really, I was relieved, but I wasn't like, oh, wow, Diaz did it. I was like, we still should have got him out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I felt like we still should have had him out, even after he did it.
And I think the Mets. Do you think the Mets? I think the Mets have to get 2 wins out of Manaea. Right? You have to get 2 wins. You can't have. You got to. He's got to win 2 of these 4 games. Yeah. He's been too good. He's the ace of this staff. He's going to get Cy Young votes. He has been the Mets ace hands down. You got to get 2 wins out of Sean Manaea this series, right?
Of course, but the bats have to show up early, and I'm telling you, and I truly believe it will. I don't know why. Like you look back, like we kind of like. I feel just we have our offense right now needs to come around. Having Jeff McNeil added to this roster.
Yeah, I don't know about Jeff McNeil either. No. I don't think I want to see Jeff McNeil. I mean, maybe as a pinch hitter, and he's not in the lineup, obviously. He's just going to be a pinch hitter, but I don't know if he's –
I don't know. I don't know where it's going to go with that, but you have a little bit more depth. You have a lefty in the lineup to come up. No, that breaks it up. That's very important if you bring him up as a pinch hitter to get it's not about Jeff McNeil being up in that spot. It's about the next 2 batters might be righties. And now if McNeil somehow gets on, that lefty reliever has to face those 2 righties.
Yeah, but
that's where they
I don't think the Dodgers are scared of McNeil. I don't think anybody's scared of
him. It's just that you need a lefty on your bench to be able to, have that happen. Like when Winker's the DH, we don't have that anymore.
Yeah, I guess so.
I hear you. But it's just McNeil came around. You're thinking of first half McNeil.
No, I know, but even in second half, it wasn't great. It wasn't batting champ. I feel like he's getting old. I feel like we've seen the best of McNeil. I want to get what his
stats were. He went and played in the whatever it's the
minor leagues.
The
winter
minors
league,
are closed.
fall ball.
Yeah, something like it was fall ball somewhere.
He played like a men's league somewhere.
No, I swear he played fall ball.
I don't think he went. But wait,
he went on
Arizona
on Friday or Saturday.
And what he do? That's not the Dodgers in the NLCS.
He played himself onto a roster.
Stop.
Have fun, Ottavino.
Ottavino didn't belong on this team in spring training.
Ottavino's on the taxi squad with like Scott with like the big arm thing on. Yeah, and he's like hanging tight over there.
I'm glad Ottavino did not make the roster. Now, what? Now, Brett, this is who you got? Who you got? Who you got in the series? Who you got?
Are you asking me who I got or how much I got them in?
Who you got?
How many I got them in? Bob, God.
I'm going Mets in 7 just because it's magic. It's been magic. You got to go with the Mets. Besides being a Mets fan, most people want me to pick against the Mets.
I think there's even more magic than you think, and I think it's Mets in 6. I believe the Mets win 1 in L.A. I believe they win 2 in New York. And I believe they go and just seal this deal in Game 6. And I think the reason is their pitching is lined up. And Senga gets them that first one tonight. And it's not Senga. It's just riding that wave, which Senga just brought it way over.
I don't like Senga tonight.
I know him.
I don't like the Mets tonight. I think they lose tonight.
What's going to happen? How much Bob hates it. It is just makes me feel so good
I almost got picked the Dodgers in 6.
Yeah.
And I figured people would have liked that. I'm picking against the Mets. But then I thought about the Diaz first and second, nobody out in Game 4, and how it just would have went the other way, went south 10 out of 10 times in my lifetime for the Mets. And he turned it around. They didn't even score a run. And I was like, you know what? We're just riding. There's just too much going on here. There's too much going right. It just seems right, doesn't it?
It does.
And I was like, Mets in 7. Now, am I going to screw the Mets by picking the Mets in 7? It's a possibility. But I don't like them tonight. I think Dodgers tonight, get all day Dodgers tonight.
I don't. I think the Dodgers are coming off a tough series. They got into we're talking real fights with San Diego that got heated. I think they got caught up in it. I think that, I know they're taking the Mets seriously because the Mets are the talk of baseball right now. But I think that, we, like you said, this is going to come down to holding down 3 guys. And we've had trouble with Freddie Freeman in the past. We've had trouble with Mookie Betts. Ohtani, everybody in the world's had trouble with every single time they faced him. So we hold them down. We have the advantage. If we can steal this game tonight with Senga, let me tell you, Mets win the series in 6.
All right. So there you have it, folks. Game 1 tonight. Mets. NLCS, Mets and Dodgers. Brett, another one. Do you want a Super? What do you feel about a Subway Series? I want no part of it. Only because I don't think I can sustain. I don't think I could take another loss. God forbid.
I honestly don't mind playing the Yankees, but the only reason I don't want it, and I mean this for either team, for the Mets or the Yankees, I think either team, if they make it, it's been so long, they deserve 100% of the adoration of this city. They need to take all of it, and this whole city needs to come together. When there's a Subway Series, it's not going to be a fun place to be. The workplace isn't fun. Going to no matter what, you got to
You're
like
just
feel
not
out,
fun. It's too
you gotta
stressful.
feel
It's
out
too
who
stressful.
it is. You're like, hey, how you doing? Did you see that game? And they're like,
no, I want no part of
no,
it.
no,
I
no.
want no
And then
part
you
of
like
it.
find out, you're like, oh,
Our
buddy.
friends are mostly
No,
Yankee
no.
fans. And call me a coward. Call me whatever you want. I want no part of it.
No, I think whoever it is deserves all of it, all the attention, the headlines, all of it, and we need to get the whole city behind them so we can win this thing. But if it does happen, we're going to beat their
Game
ass.
1 tonight. Not Manaya. Senga and Flaherty
We got Manaya tomorrow.
on the mound. Fox is where you find it. 880 if you want to hear Howie.
Yeah,
And-
listen to the radio cast and watch it on TV.
Let's go
please.
Mets, folks. This has been
Let's go
Locked Up
Mets.
Sports from the Brian Gunzel Studios. NLCS Game 1 preview. For Brett Grasso, I'm Bob Walters. See ya.